right, we're live again.
You know, with Sonos, you don't need those bridges anymore.
Oh, they've just got it as like straight from
Wi-Fi.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I just got a note, so I went and I disconnected my bridge, Sonos bridge, and everything's working fine. So, interesting.
Alrighty. Okay, so we are another live section here. So the fun part of it going back to this, trying to pull out meaningful video to clip it together, but this will be an adventure. So this piece now, I wanted to go through and we're gonna jump in and actually figure out what we need in order to build this. This is the ever fun requirements gathering session. Let me just share my screen. Oh, no, not Ecamm, Skype. Wow, I definitely need a second monitor for this too. That's okay. There we go. It's weird how look at that. You can. Okay, start sharing. Alrighty, I'm assuming the live stream is working as expected. Close enough.
I'm checking. Yeah, I'm checking it. I think you can, I don't think you need to stitch the videos together. Just create a playlist and just say video 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah. But ideally, it would be nice to go in and pull out some meaningful hunks of if we find anything. So if you do, that's always half the battle. I got to go. Likely YouTube's good that it actually it transcribes it for you. So
yeah. So video stream looks good.
Okay.
Just gonna check Twitter, YouTube.
Okay, so this is always the fun part. We are literally just watching me type. But this is how hackathons go. It is. Everybody has this amazing idea that there's this beautiful choreography and collaboration, and everybody's immediately coding. No. Most of it is spent just doing seemingly just grind and grunt work. But so we want to be able to use.
Looks all good, Eric.
Yeah, okay, good. Match people together using algorithms. So I want to be able to match people together. Really, people with like. Okay, why do this? Mentoring is when I always hate the word mentee is such a weird thing. Other than the Now the cool thing is that, of course I did like no styling on it at all, but they do make this pretty easy. Aha. Writing Markdown is like, I at one point I actually built my first blog with a Ruby on Rails. I made my own content management system where I could type in like Markdown and it would come up, and I could build my own web pages that way. That's the kind of because I was like, I don't know about this WordPress thing. It may not take off. Again, it was at the time like, hey, if I can figure out how to get better at coding this stuff, this is a great example that I have an actual problem to solve. Okay, so why do this? Okay, so the next piece is how we build it. So tools that we oops. Oh, this is weird. Okay. GitHub collaboration and code sharing. There's not going to be that much actual code out of what we do. Most likely we're going to be doing this stuff and just actually command line or hacking it together. We probably won't have the fully functional web-based product or anything, but we'll have some examples.
Yeah. Wireframes or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Algorithmia for matching. Slack for chat. Of course, we've got to share that we're using Ecamm Live to broadcast the craziness. Skype for video. Okay. This is pretty funky. I've never actually built a wiki inside GitHub before, so. Collaboration. Okay, now the fun one. So I need to have, okay, so we need to have information which will be used to match people. This is hobbies, work experience, music, movies, stuff like that. So conceptually, that's what it's going to look like if we think of conceptual, logical, physical. So conceptual is we are going to gather information about people, and then we will use that in order to match them, and then the output is a match. That's the very simple thing that we're going to do. So,
well, so would we say one of the requirements is actually going to be what subject or what topic they're actually trying to get the mentorship focused around? Or do we want it to be just the personality?
Yeah, the first part. That should be the mentoring goal. Yeah, you're right. Let's include it as the thing, because that's got to match first. If I have a great personality match with somebody who's going to help me in a thing that I don't need help with, doesn't matter, right? Okay, now we need a way to collect information and now this is super basic because this is simply going to be treated as like a, quick collections, and then we're going to try and test building, like how does it plug into an algorithm, and can we actually format it in a data format that's going to work. The longer term will be, can we actually create a profile, update your hobby, stuff like that. Like that's we'll actually add that down the road here. Day 2 after the hackathon. Okay, so now this is the fun part. For now, I think what we'll do is we're going to kind of chase down what's the data we've got to feed in the format, and we're going to kind of work backwards from that, which is a little backwards. Like we should never look at the tech and then make your requirements work for it. But in this case, because we're very specifically using pre-packaged algorithms, I want to grab one that's a working sample, make sure that I can understand how it works, and then map it backwards, hopefully in a way that we could then feed it, and then we can morph from there. We need data format. Oops. Oh. Do matching based on if I can spell right here. Data formatted in a way. Alrighty, let's go. And I'm actually going to algorithmia. We'll open that up after. There it is. Oops. So we've got to think about choosing an algorithm as well. So there's a lot of different ways, and ultimately we need to match people. We need to use personality, likes, dislikes, goals. And there's a few different algorithms you can use if you're just looking for, like there's ones they call like the stable marriage, which is just taking the people, general matching of people. There's stable roommate one that they have, but this is literally which one to use. Dating algorithm. It's kind of silly, but basically mentoring is a giant dating game. So now we're digging in. Oh, like that. Let's see that. Where's my... Ooh, people are filling stuff there. Look at that. We've got observers that are jumping in. Cool, cool. Oh, yeah, I definitely need it. 2 monitors is highly recommended for this. I'm literally sitting in a chair with a laptop, and it was my safest location for doing streaming. So I'm going to give you guys... So, yeah, let's see. Sorry, I'm fast forwarding way too much here. Let me just get right to this. Okay, so I think we agree the basics that we have right now is we want to figure out, can we do it? Where'd the... Come on, Wiki. Okay. So we know kind of what tools we're going to use. We are going to, like I said, the stripped down version of this is, can we even figure out, can we actually get an algorithm to do something for us? And so the fast forward to that is, if we look through, we want to find a few different options. So if you go to Algorithmia, I'll give my little plug for this thing. It allows you to go, you can create your own algorithms, you can do machine learning, you can do training, you can do all sorts of crazy stuff. These are open source, most of them. And so all you do is you just go in, you set up your profile. In this case, we can go through and say matching. So we're just going to choose a different type of matching. And some of them are like they've created them and they share them out. Some of them are community contributed. Some of them are like, you know, if anybody on this call could even tell me what weighted bipartite matching is, then you've already won the hackathon. This is the fun part of when we want to do stuff like involving algorithms, involving data science. You just want to be able to use something that's already built. I don't want to have to go to school to learn what this stuff actually is to create it myself. There's no reason why I would need to do that. And I mentioned, of course, there's this idea of this stable marriage algorithm. So the way that it works with Algorithmia is you pick one. It gives you, they've got their own like documentation wikis, shows you what the format you've got to have. It's all usually in JSON format. They've got discussions on it. They actually show you the source code for the algorithm itself, so you can go in and you can actually edit it. You'll notice .py for all these things because these are all built in Python. So if you got Python in your background already, this is kind of nifty. I don't, so I gotta go to school one day for it, and I know. And actually, Joe, you guys, the V Brown Bag stuff right now is a lot. There's a lot of Python stuff going on, from what I recall. I saw Chris Mistwire, as most people know him, has been doing some Python goodies.
Oh yeah, it's going to be about 2 months solid on the calendar. That's all Python for DevOps.
Nice.
Good stuff.
And also, and that's the beauty part, right? If we look at when we think about, you know, DevOps and all these things, like I did a book for O'Reilly. It's like, you know, DevOps automation with Terraform for VMware. And a lot of people, if you're a DevOps person, you aren't going to want to read this book because you'll be like, I'm so far beyond this. Our audience, when we're doing this kind of stuff, is not somebody who builds algorithms by hand and then, you know, and does it all. Like, our audience is me, who has no flipping idea what they're doing, but they know enough to be dangerous and want to try a little further. So this one here, so I dug through, picked one, and I said, okay, let's go to this matching user and see what they've got. And they've got a couple different ones. So like I said, let's take a look at what a dating algorithm is. Now again, for the math folks who really want to dig in, they actually like show you exactly how it works out. So what are the different criteria, how the scoring works in it. So if you want to dig further into it down the road, we'll actually, ideally, I'm going to build this and then kind of like blog on how it works and what it all means. And I've actually got even a way bigger goal of this. Is my plan is to actually create a system and put a lot of stuff in here. So we're going to use as much that's out of the box. So this is a very, very long form thing here. You can see as I'm scrolling through, there's a ton of stuff that's involved, which is going to include like interests, they've got age, they've got values, like there's a lot of stuff. And then what you do is you put in all these people, plug it through the algorithm, and then it just takes people based on that set of criteria. So let me copy one out. I'm going to use I know I don't use VS Code. Don't hate me. I'm using Sublime.
No hate, just judgment.
So the weight that you will probably end up coming through with a fairly general weight on it. Like what they've done here is they've said interests, values, age, and coordinates. So in this case, obviously, values is highly weighted, and because this is a dating algorithm. Interests are more than one weight, so they're valuable. Coordinates, this one here again. So you're taking where they live is less important than the match. We're probably going to use a similar style, and then age is lower. So we're probably going to use kind of a similar layout because I don't want to learn too hard at the start. Here they've got, again, just like literally tap in a bunch of different things. Values. So what we'll do is we'll take a couple of examples and try and pull it together. So one person record is here. This is the fun of JSON, trying to figure out where it starts and stops. And then you've got some here that are further. There's a shorter one here. So because for the purposes of doing what we're doing, we're going to put everybody in the same location. Because again, like I don't want to learn too hard. I'm just going to say like, let's figure out with the existing framework that we've got, and then if that works, then I can kind of like work backwards and actually dig in and say, what if I took location out entirely? Or what if I actually included it and weighted it? So we'll want to have like a sample. So here I'm going to go back to my GitHub. I'm going to go to the algorithm. I don't know how this is going to paste. Oops. Data sample. I just want to see how it works. Whoa, yeah, that's right. So much.
I would do that in the code view.
That's right. Can it do it as a straight?
Yeah, check next to your bold and italics. I think it gives you a code wrapper. Yeah. Hopefully.
Did that? Hopefully. Oh no! Let me just let me start from scratch again here. Okay, so I want. Where was it? Code. This should work. Okay, weird.
Yeah.
Weird. I know you're. Yeah, it's. Text and ask. Yeah. When in doubt. Can I change it? Change the mode? No, that's it. Okay, markdown. That's interesting. I'm surprised that it actually didn't work that way. This is the fun part, right? Immediately you're like, we're in the tools already. We're already figuring out problems.
There's the preview button as well there, if you want to preview it before you save it.
Ah, good call. Yeah. I guess it's weird. I guess it does. If you did have words in there that would have led it to be a markdown format, then it would get rid of that. But
Okay, so there is an enrichment for it where you can do a block code syntax, just do 3 backticks and JSON,
okay.
and then 3 backticks at the very end of it.
And then so we actually just type JSON.
JSON, yeah.
Okay, and then the closing triple backtick as well.
Yep. It may need to be lowercase in the JSON. I'm not sure. You can try.
Oh, it actually works. But
it looks better at least. So.
Yeah. Sun. Okay, cool. Yeah, so it took it either way. All right, look at that.
Yeah, I think now you can get rid of the preceding backticks outside the. Yeah. There we go.
Woot! Look at that action. Okay, so. Nice. Okay, cool. Okay, so save that. Now this, Angela, if you want to do me a favor, this is how we collaborate. Let's pick a location. Since we're going to be in San Francisco when we do this for the other live event, let's get the latitude and longitude of the Moscone Center.
Okay.
And we'll use that for everybody's location.
Got it.
Okay. So that's the example, and then you can actually, the good thing is you can run the example, and then further down in the Algorithmia page, it literally gives you like every format that if you want to actually inject it, run it with PHP and Python, like it gives you all the code for how to run it. And like I said, it even tells you how to just do it in good old-fashioned curl if you want to send it.
Nice.
So,
John just sent it over.
Okay.
Yeah, it's in the chat.
Yeah. In the Skype chat.
Look at that. Alrighty, thank you, Joe. Now.
Joe, do you see my video okay?
I do.
Oh, okay. Okay, good. Get some funky, Okay, good here.
So I choose my data sample. Oh boy. Now, is that one going to work here? Come on, edit. Now that's the other one. We need to actually pull what the wrapper is for making it a group.
Hey Eric, if you click run example, what does that do?
Oh, so basically if I go through, so right now you see like it's going to run the algorithm.
Oh, okay.
Based on the data we fed it.
Or what's currently, there. Yeah.
This is the fun part about data science.
Oh, I see. Okay, there we go. Yeah. Okay.
So now what we want to ultimately do I'm going to just take the whole big thing here. Cool. It sounds like there's a murder going on at your house, Joe.
Yeah, the kids are having fun.
I've had that on a couple of webinars, but all of a sudden all you hear is "Daddy, Daddy!" So my 3-year-old goes running up to my standing desk. Thus, the reason I'm in a room sitting in a chair so I can hide out. Otherwise, he'll find me. It's like that what was the guy on BBC where the kid comes running in with like the girl comes running in, then the baby comes in on the walker,
in
like
the background.
Yep. Okay, so sorry if you get like vertigo as I'm like scrolling through this. I just want to see what the closing JSON is. Okay, so I've got, that's the full one. Now I'm going to also then create medium data sample. I want to take this real thing and again, so this is the fun part, because you end up having to move quick on a lot of these things, is like we dive kind of right in. I'm going to strip out some of these people. So we're going to ultimately thin the dating herd in this case, as it were. Because I want to see how it works with a smaller group. Just to make sure that every time I edit JSON that it actually still works in the Argo. So now we can copy this, we can go over here, paste that bad boy in. Aha! See, that's it. Please provide the feed. Oh, look at that. See, I didn't actually read it right. Oh, yeah. It's female and male. Well, that's uncomfortable. So here's the... yeah. We are going to have to transpose some information here. We have to, so here's the first problem. We have to make the assumption that in this case it's going to refer to female and male because it's using a dating algorithm. So wherever those words come in, we're going to transpose mentor-mentee. So even though it's referring to that, we have to...
Yeah, we just need to define group one role.
Okay, so let me just make sure I got aggressive. So group 1, group 2 are all the... Okay, look at that. Yeah. Okay. So what I want to do is I'm going to go back to the beginning here, grab the original set, go to my medium data sample, I'll scrub what I did. 2. Okay, so from group 2, I'm going to say 1, 2, 3. Let's just use 3 of each. Oh boy, I'm bound to mess up some parentheses on this one. Say it's group 1, I'm going to have 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to get rid of these guys. Whew. This may or may not work. Aha! Oh, that's pretty cool. Did it detect extra parentheses in there and give me crap about it? That's pretty cool.
Looks like it.
You ever have that thing? You're like, I have a feeling I don't need this extra one, and it just confirmed that. That's better. Okay. Alrighty, will this work? Will it blend? Run example. String indices must be integers. That's what happens. String indices. Now the weird thing is, so if the big one works,
Does it highlight where the code that, or string indices? I guess it doesn't highlight where it's failing.
No,
the
that's
output.
yeah. It doesn't. Debugging is lacking in this stuff. It assumes that you're smarter than me doing this.
Scroll back down.
So it said string indices must be integers. Group 1. I wonder, did it paste anything? Like sometimes it doesn't copy paste. Alrighty. So I'm going to have to get very specific. I'm just going to go back to my big example, and I'm just going to cut one out of each one. And we're going to cut it down one at a time. Okay. One at a time. We'll cut this down until it works. This is debugging the hard way. All right, so that's working. So let's go back. We're going to re-edit our medium data sample and just pull out one. One from group 1, and then we'll go down and get rid of one from group 2. Sorry, Kate the teacher. Oh, my internet's dragging. I'm just saving Markdown that's getting stuck. You can never be in a rush for algorithms. Okay. Alrighty, so we're working by stripping our sample down. Again, I'm going to remove one from each group here. I just want to narrow it down to a smaller group, then we can start to manipulate the data. So 2 from group 1. Just getting one. Sorry, Natalie the lawyer. Okay, smaller subset. It's fine. I tell you though, when you see something like that, it says like fill someone in for the female group. Aha, alrighty, so something got messed up there. Thank goodness for revisions. I can go back, fix it again, and then somewhere I screwed up something. Make sure that that works again. I wonder if I could be mismatching if I pulled too many from one side than the other. It may not align. That could be part of it. Okay, so that's working. So let's go back and try again here. I'm just going to pull one out of here, see if it works this way. So this way I know if I'm getting an error on this one, it's because they're mismatched. Oh no. So I should end up with one lonely person in this pairing. Yeah, look at that. No. Alas, hand of the model goes home empty-handed. Okay, good. So I know that if it's mismatched, it doesn't matter. Yeah, literally just must have been a cut and paste error somewhere. Now you know what it's like when you work around a bunch of developers and all you hear is silence and sighing and grunting. Like, oh, it doesn't work. Angela will remember that from going into the going into the office.
Yeah.
Just watching people like, oh, the build didn't work.
Yeah. That's all you hear is sips of coffee.
A lot of
sort of the moans and groans.
The sounds of patience.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because everyone's so tuned in with their everyone's got their headphones on, tuned in to their own particular music. I think the great thing that you're showcasing here, Eric, is sort of that 10,000 ways not to do, like how it's not working sort of thing.
That's right.
You know, you kind of so.
Okay, so let's pull a couple more people from the group here.
And let's be honest, with all the brackets, you just don't know where to start, stop.
That's it. That's it.
No.
People hate on YAML, but man, I don't know. JSON versus YAML, at least YAML visually makes sense. JSON, you're committed to a whole lot of brackets. It's got more brackets than the Final Four. Okay. Lather, rinse, repeat. Let's see. Okay, so we have so I say 5 and 5. Let's take one more out of each, just because then it's like an easy data set to work with. So the reason why, of course, like why are we pulling this down? We had a completely working data set. Number one, it makes it faster. Number two, it's less moving parts, so that as I type wrong, I'm less likely to impact things. So, and then the fun part, if you think of like this versus traditional product management, there's way more upfront planning. Like there's way more whiteboarding it out. We kind of like had to get right to the, if this doesn't work, then nothing else we do is going to work. It's like I had to like, this is the sort of linchpin of what we're going to build on. So, okay, so we got 4 and 4. I wondered, is it going to actually change the results? I'd be curious. Okay. Now this is going to be fun. I'm going to paste this out to somewhere else just so I can see it. So this is result 1. Oops, I'm not going to save that. Now I'm going to go back. This is more of the scientific method, right? I'm going to take all these things. I'm going to create another medium data sample 2. Triple backtick JSON. Thank you for finding that, Joe. Okay, so I'll save that. And now I'm going to Cricut sitting. Let's get rid of some stuff here. We're going to age poor James the sports guy. We're going to make him older. So I'm actually just curious because I want to see it get a different result, and then we can start to mess around with our own version of the data. I just want to see it be different once. Didn't throw an error right out of the gate, so I feel like I'm better than I was this morning. Okay, now let's just double check. Do we still get the same match? We're using a limited data set as well, so we may very likely get less variance. Oh, look at that. We did it. So in data set 1, Hannah the model got matched with Steve the programmer. In data set 2, Hannah gets Alan the writer. So because I changed the criteria and changed the activities, then it actually worked. So we know that this is not magic. It's actually doing stuff.
Yeah, and Steve the programmer actually flipped from Hannah the model to Julia the jukebox.
Yep.
So based on what was changed in there, we could actually figure out like how it's doing that pairing as well.
Yeah. Very cool. Alrighty. So now we're going to get the next one here. We're going to say we're going to do a new page, and we're going to call this Mentor Data Set 1. Oops. Oh. Copy. So if anything, the lesson you can take from all this too is, do any of us know how this is actually working mathematically under the covers, right? No. However, you now have a prepackaged free way to do this stuff. You can do a lot of these things on Amazon as well. Azure has their own TensorFlow that has models. There's lots of stuff that's out there that has free tier as well. So it's kind of cool that you can try stuff out. What was I doing here? Okay, so I'm going to say we're going to change these to be Mentor 1. Mentor 2. So group 1 will be the mentors. Mentor 3. Wait a minute, how many? Did I just write this wrong in the wrong order here? Wait a second here. Okay, Mentor 1, 2, 3. Where's group 2 start? Oh, that's group 2.
Mm.
I must have pasted in the wrong data set here. Oh. Back to square one again. Back to square one. Leave page. Dang it. Now, I'm curious, Joe. Have you ever dabbled in this type of experimentation before? You've done much around like algorithm stuff and this type of thing?
Just a little bit, playing around with it just to try and learn more of the comparison logic, because that's something, again, not being somebody who's formally schooled in programming, to me, this is one of the easy ways to try and take a look at something and understand, between the code and what's actually going on the back end and the visible user interface for it. How does it actually make all these things match? So, yeah, most of it's just self-education.
Exactly. That's cool. Mentor 3. Yeah. This is how I can tell I'm not good at math, because I'm pretty sure I'm typing in 5 people. But if I look at my results, there's 4 on each side. Vincent, Alan, Steve, Kyle. Well,
that may just mean there's only 4 options in group 2.
The weird thing, it showed mentee.
Mentee, yeah.
1.
That would be good, though, because we do need to know that it would actually work with a mismatched group size.
Yeah, and the weird thing is when I did one before, it showed as a null on one side.
Mhm.
Oh, that literally counts. That was mentee
4.
4.
Okay,
Interesting.
that's good.
Okay, so literally all we're changing is the names of them so we know that we can think in the context of people types. Okay, 1.
Nice.
Alrighty. But it's funny, yeah, there's... So mentor number 1 is going home empty-handed here.
Mm-hmm.
But if I... Yeah, that's an interesting challenge that we've got here. Before, when we had a mismatch, if you're mismatched one way... Ah, it's interesting. When we were mismatched the other way before, it showed a null and a match. But it can only pair them up. It's a dating algorithm. So it does make sense that it wouldn't, but I'm surprised that it didn't show somebody. All right, well, we'll dig into that one a bit more, but let's... I'm doing like way more of these just because I don't want to trounce over working data.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, at least what's defined in the code is it just shows errors specifically for providing male and female groups, a list of people for each group. The groups can't be empty, and then it's got to have name and interests for all people and valid coordinates. So it had to be something else that we ran into.
Yeah. So that's...
Yeah, because they do have it commented out at the very end of their code where it used to be that unequal groups were not supported, that the groups had to be exactly the same size.
Right.
So that's good. Okay.
Yeah, so this is a good example of it. So we obviously have... Yeah, so here they've got surrounding circumstances, which is why we'll just pick the same location for everybody.
Yeah.
Algorithm does a 1-to-1 comparison between interests and values. If you need, you can do scoring weights. So it automatically... Oh, there you go. So location is actually super low scoring anyways. And they've listed that values are the highest. Age is less important. So it's actually not... This is... I think we won't even mess with the weights of it right now. We're just going to go and try and make our data set look like something that actually matters. Mentor 1. We're going to say there VMware. Virtualization. What should we call it?
Cloud?
Yeah. Networking. Values. Oh boy.
Values.
So let's find that. So yeah, so let's do these ones, and then we're gonna make it so I want to find technical matches, and then if we add in other interests as well, is it actually matching the right people up?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna say we've got another VMware person. Why not? Azure PowerShell. Again, I don't even want to change the data set size. I just want to like experiment with the dictionary a bit here. I think that value is spirituality. Wow, we're going to have to figure out how the dictionary matches work ultimately, but if we can take it out of the box and not mess with the dictionary, we're in good shape.
Yeah.
Storage. I know there's a joke in there somewhere. There's no one will ever match with the storage person. VMware.
Yeah, we may end up wanting to use interests to be like the actual technology stack that somebody's interested in, or that part of it, and then maybe values would be more soft skills.
Right. Yeah, that's exactly it. We basically just transpose what we have, or see if we have many interests and they include the technology, or should the values be the thing? Yeah, it's
right.
Yeah. But Terraform, Eric, maybe.
Yeah. And I want to get one, so I'm going to put cloud and Netflix. Let's just do this one here. I like it as veganism is one of the interests. Sorry, no vegans allowed on in my examples here. Only meat eaters.
Yeah, I did like Yadine's virtualization. It's what's for dinner. That's pretty fantastic.
Yeah, that was pretty wild. All right, now here's the other part. When you're switching tiny bits of data, always good to know which data is being switched. Okay, so let me go here. I'm going to paste it out in different spots so that piece is working. Oops. Okay, so we had Mentee number 3 was VMware, and 1 and 2 we're manipulating here. So yeah, so number 3, this is the person that we will match up with somebody, and they found mentee number 3 got mentor number 1. Okay, so they should have gone between number 1 and 2, theoretically, because VMware was in both of them. So right now, here's my output. So again, I'm mucking around with the I should take notes on this stuff here. 1 and 2 modified. 3. So the next one I want is I'm going to take that data set. Oh boy, God, so many tabs, so many tabs. Okay, so let me double check here. So I ended up with number 3 went to number 1. I want to basically incent them to go to number 2. So I want to add, let's add DevOps to number 3 here. So instead of Netflix, they like DevOps, as they should. Oops. So literally one criteria change. Will it actually... No, interesting. Mentee number 3 still with mentor number 1. Okay. because they had VMware and cloud. Interesting.
And then VMware DevOps.
Yeah, let's do. Let's. I'm gonna just live it right here just for. Oh boy. Oh yeah, that'll teach me. Change the script and you wreck everything. So we want them to end up with number 2, which means let's just put PowerShell. Yeah, Python. There you go. So 3, 5, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so it didn't change the outcome with just adding 1. Aha!
Now it did.
Bingo. So that actually altered the outcome. Okay. So this piece, we're actually doing things. Okay, cool. Now, let's stop for a second here. So we've got data sets are working. Let me just go through it. We should sort of track some of the stuff we've got. Okay, so requirements we are tracking. That is. GitHub. Okay. Add collaborators. We are done. Can I actually close it right from here? Mark as closed. Cool. Now I'm gonna do like the ultimate like how to make yourself happy. I'm gonna create an issue for a thing that we've already solved, just so we can mark it as completed. Dopamines. They're what's for dinner. Okay, so test. Find algorithm. Mostly just so we can actually track, like kind of, if we go back on how we actually did this, and I don't want to go through hours of video. Okay. Okay, so we create the issue. We'll be using Okay, so you know that works. Okay. Test minute.
I was wondering why my email was going crazy. And it's all the, every time you close one of these items.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're watching it, yeah.
Yeah. Sends a notification.
That's right. Okay, so now, again, one more. We want to modify data set with technology information. Technology. Does using tech terms did a B test with updating Okay, cool. Alrighty, so I'd say we are now at this first sort of key part of what we've got. So now what I want to get is I want my data set. I want to like basically create a pure, I'm going to do mentor data set 4. Tech. All tech. Alrighty. Actually, I'm gonna step away for a few minutes. Now, Angelo, if you want to go in, or Joe, either or whatever, you guys can work it out. But you can't simultaneously edit. You have access to the wiki. Let's just make sure that we can actually get in there.
Yep.
And in fact, I'm going to do this here. I'm going to create a second group so you can each edit one. Mentor data 5. I'm going to mark one as JH. If you want to go in, and can you do me a favor? So fill in, like basically like kind of replace all the interests with some different tech terms. And then let's just, so basically completely techify it. We'll make sure that match works to some degree.
Yep.
And then we'll add in some other, then we'll test if it's tech focused, what if we add other interests? Can we now influence the outcome? So.
Yes. Can you say that again, Eric? You broke up there. Just
Oh, sorry. I just said, yeah, Angelo's going to take over the whole thing from now on. He's going to run. So yeah, so we've got 2. Actually, let me go back. I'll modify it so that it's easy to spot here. So dataset, TT, tech 4. I'm going to take all tech AL. So I've got 2 mentor data sets. One is for Angelo, one's for Joe. Just edit this one in the wiki and change all of the interests to technology.
Okay.
Now this is what's hilarious too. You're about to experience the pain. It's like when someone says, I want you to come up with a random number. You're like, you can't. It's really hard to suddenly come up with like 10 terms, but then only use 4 of them. So just go in and fill a couple, and then we can go and we'll start to muck around. I got to step away for a few minutes, and I'll be right back.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Feel free to talk and keep the watchers happy.
Oh, yeah. So, Angela, at this point, how many technology interests do we think we should limit it to? Because I'm kind of thinking we should probably just come up with a decent number of values in the set and then just assign them to mentors and mentees.
Yeah, I was thinking. Oh, geez, I don't know, 5. What do you think?
Yeah, we could probably, I guess, come up with a longer list and then only set maybe 5 of them to see what it's doing. Because that way we're only having to modify maybe 1 or 2 values per mentor or mentee to see if we can force the change.
Yeah. Just gotta log back in here. This thing booted me out. It's okay. Get back in here. Getting back in. Where are we here? Okay, here we go. Here we go. Edit.
Sort. Okay, so from what we already had in there, we've already got a set of 15 because we've got like AI, cloud, computers. We'll take out computers. That's a little generic. DevOps, IoT, JavaScript, Azure, network, Python,
Terraform, I think.
Virtualization, VMware. Yeah. Okay, cool. So that's good. Yeah. So 14
so
is not bad.
Yeah. Because we just use a combination.
Yep.
Okay. Guess we don't have Hyper-V, right?
We could leave that under just virtualization, or we can specifically call it up.
Yeah, maybe virtualization is good. See, I personally do like going a little deeper and calling it out, Hyper-V, etc. But maybe in this case, it might be easier just to leave it at virtualization.
Alrighty, sorry, fellas.
You know what? Let's change virtualization to Hyper-V, and then we'll go ahead.
Okay.
It'll probably come back with an error saying Hyper-V doesn't count, doesn't match with anyone. Sorry, kid, you're on your own. You're gonna die lonely.
Yep. All right, guys. So at this point, how many interests do we think we're trying to limit the mentor and mentees to?
So, we don't really want to limit, and I kind of. So this would be the one thing is a similar data set, and then we want to then test the outcome of like adding a bunch of stuff. Like if you take one and you really bulk up their interest, can you change the person they match with based on adding more stuff? So There's kind of a lot of experimentation at this point. Sorry, I'm eating while you're... We should probably all take a snack break.
Yeah.
I say it because I'm like past out hungry for some reason.
So each of my people have 5 interests. Just feel like I'm putting the same ones in.
This is tricky, right? When you try and come up with, this is why people think that AI is dangerous, because it's created by HI. Humans try and create outcomes using algorithms, and we ultimately only map to a handful of things that we understand.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm totally cheating. I sorted out and got rid of all the dupes to get us down to the list of 15 that we have, and I'm just going to pipe it through like a random function. Just have it give me back 5 results for each and just mix them in there.
Nice. Look
I'm
at
lazy.
you doing. That's what I call ingenuity.
I was just going to ask Alexa to do it all for me, but it's okay. It's okay. I like the old-fashioned way. Does case matter?
Oh,
Guess not.
It shouldn't. Wouldn't it be funny if you have like a uppercase BMW and a lowercase, if you case it right and it doesn't match them? Sorry.
Or what if the mentor has Microsoft Azure, but the mentee just puts in Azure? Do you think that will match up?
It should be. It's a dictionary match, so it should. It'd be curious.
All right.
Well, the last thing I did was go to the instructions.
When I put Hyper-V in, I'm not. I'm excluding the hyphen. So.
Okay. Yeah, I did the same. So.
Okay.
So this is the cool thing when I talked before about what we do is by using one algorithm. This one's actually using 2 of them, because it takes this first as doing criteria matching, then it takes it based on that and uses the stable marriage algorithm to try and find the pairings. So if you were to do this from scratch, you effectively are doing 2 pretty significant data movements. Okay, so yeah, that's the fun part about the doing this collaboratively. There's weird spots that you'll find in any of these hackathons too. And I think, Joe, you brought this up at the start. Like, we start off by like teaching, and then it reaches a point of interactivity. The hard part, I think, is figuring out how to like go in and out of those moments, and like how far do you break out to individual stuff, and how much can you then let them collaborate as a peer group. There's a real challenge in putting this stuff together.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't want to make it so that you're giving them the exercises, but you also have to have one ready so that, okay, if no one has any ideas or they get stuck, can I kind of like move the ball?
Yeah, just again.
Okay, so now we're going to say goodness sakes. Oops. Yeah, the scoring weight, this is interesting. Yes, we have. This is interesting too. Okay, so I look at the scoring weight I've got right now. Values is higher than interest because we're still using the original scoring weight. So we'll have to test that one as well.
It was like 5 times as much or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's like 7.5 versus 1.5 for the. So definitely. But, okay, so here's the interesting thing. Yeah, I've got to think about, if we think about what we're trying to do. Yeah, first I just want to see that tech terms work out as a dictionary match. And then, yeah, so this is what it's going to have to be. Values. I think that what we'll end up with is that we have to have the interests will become basically one of them has to be the thing that they want, not the thing they have, because that's ultimately where the match comes. Yeah, this is the interesting one. So I'm trying to think and see if I'm saying it in the right way that makes sense, Joe. So we have interests and values. Today, for the purposes of the matching, these are being done because they're heavily weighted because they're trying to find matches for people in general. Only based on current stuff. But what we're doing that's different about it is we're trying to take people that match currently, but that are mismatched in their skill set. I purposefully want somebody who's got a mentor who's got, say, DevOps, and a mentee that wants DevOps. I got to try and think of how to use the fact that we've got interests and values. Can I use one as so values would be what I want, instead of what I've got.
Yeah. That makes sense. We just, I guess, need to kind of figure out what's going to end up being I don't know, because normally that would be something that, I guess, in the mentor group, that same interests category or set of data would actually be, those values would be skills that the mentor already has, where we're trying to match up with that being a need for the mentees.
Right.
So I don't know that we actually want to list those out as different categories.
Okay. So yeah. You've opened up my thoughts on this one a lot more. It doesn't matter that the mentee doesn't have. It depends on the weight of the match, right? I guess.
Right.
Because we still need them. The mentee needs the thing, so they want to list them as if they've got them to match the person.
Right. Yeah, we want those to be the same category. We just want that on the mentor side. We want that to be something that they have that already exists, and for the mentees, that would be defined as a need for them.
Right. Yeah, because I don't have to worry about matching the. Yeah. So I'm trying to think what are the situations where you'd be mismatched because you already have something and you'd get. So if I list my current skills as VMware, AWS, but I want to learn Google Cloud, and then there's another person that has VMware and AWS but doesn't have Google Cloud, and there's somebody who's got just Google Cloud but no VMware and AWS, I'm more likely, because I have two shared criteria with the first person, to get matched with them. It probably works out in a way, but I'm just trying to make sure that I'm doing the right way of feeding this data set. And I like that we've got values and interests. We could almost sort of borrow the fact that there's two different ones. In the end, I think the day 2 version of this is to actually figure out how to programmatically create an algorithm which adds current skills, wanted skills. We could probably figure it out without too much serious effort.
Yeah.
Easy to say.
Right. Well, I mean, based on what's there, we could probably have it being, just a secondary, lower weighted score for the other categories.
Right.
But yeah, I guess that's part of it. Is we need to define what, not only for the weighting but for the programming and for the data sets, which do we think is the more important value, or which do we think is the more important data to try and match on? Do we want that to be the interest or the values, since we're kind of doing a translation of what it's written out as now?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think.
So and just to catch you up, it suddenly hit me as I was trying to figure out how we're going to use this, and I'll share this out. I created an issue that talks about this. That what's the right way to use the fact that we have interests and values as two different sets of criteria. So, because here is the scenario I was trying to figure. Am I more likely to get matched to somebody who has my current skill set, and it may not correctly weight what I want to learn? So, and my example is if I'm VMware, AWS, but I want to learn GCP, and then there's two mentors, one that has VMware and AWS, and one that has just GCP, but not the other two. Am I more likely to get matched with the person who's got two similar criteria than with the one that I want? Because I both need to know that I'm getting personality matches. So I think, and Joe kind of laid this out too, he's like, I think if we use one category versus the other, the mentor will fill out the data differently, or will fill the data differently for a mentor. So a mentor, both sides will probably look the same, interests and skills, or sorry, interests and values. But for the mentee, my interests will be what I've got, and the values will be what I want.
So values. Well, example of a value.
In this case, they listed like individuality, veganism, whatever, hatred of government. So I'm sure something like that. In this example too, if I look at the algorithm here, and I'll show you. So the way that they weighted it. Where's our data set? Sorry. In the data set, check this out. Right, because this is a dating algorithm, the values matter more than interest, right? I'd rather have somebody who's also a Christian that maybe doesn't like photography, that likes photography as a bonus, versus somebody that really likes photography but has a fundamentally different interest, right?
Okay, so in our case, what would we have under values in our world? Not in the dating world, but in our world. Under value, what would we have? Collaborative, is that a value? Collaboration, is that a value?
Yeah, but that's the thing, that are we going to use it that way, or are we going to transpose where it's called values, called values based on the algorithm, but would values just be new wanted skills, like
okay. Because I'm wondering if I guess where I was going is, do we even need that category values? But if we're going to rephrase it the way you just said, are we going to change it to something like what you just mentioned? And what they want to learn, I guess. Then I could see us still sticking with that, and then I would think that the values, or whatever we decide it is, would be more important than interests, because I think interests just set a base level for you of, these are my interests, this is what my past knowledge is, if you will, or my current operating technology stack or whatever, and then my value. But I want to up level my skills, so my value. So I'm looking towards GCP, for instance. So right. I think it'd be the values that we would score higher.
Okay, cool. So I think,
I don't know if that made a lot of sense, but yeah.
Well, I think we're at a good crossroads right now, and maybe what we'll do is we'll take a brain break and a food break. Well, actually, Joe, what time zone are you in? If you don't give away your personal location, I don't want to dox you on the internet here.
Yes. I mean, it's not like people don't know that I'm, attached to the Austin DMUG or the Austin PowerShell group. So yeah, I'm down in Austin, so I'm Central Time. So
you're just 2 hours back. Okay, yes, it's not too bad. Alrighty.
Go Dallas Cowboys.
Oh
Right?
man.
No? Was I wrong there? I don't know football. I don't follow
Yeah.
football.
I'm not a huge sports fan at all. I only watch motorsports for the most part. But yeah, I grew up with family in Denver, Colorado, so I was actually raised as a Broncos fan.
You're a Broncos fan,
The Cowboys, yeah. So, but yeah, they're the locals. I hear people watch them.
That's right. Rumor is.
Yep. So interest versus values.
We want to change that term, values, right, Eric?
Yeah, or just like in this case, we're going to use it differently, but so we want to map out. But let's take the data sets that we have that are pure tech, and let's just see, like, literally tech A, tech B, does it match? I believe that we did get that, and then we can start to add, because there's no limit. I believe let me just, I'll share back to the screen here. I just realized, yeah, I am sharing my screen. I'm like switching back and forth for the broadcast all the time, but I don't actually have to because I'm using. Okay, there we go. Ha. It's just really a matter of how we weight these things. Yeah, because we got the results, so we're getting the matches. That basically is like, are we getting a tech match? Do we influence it? There's no, I don't believe there's a limit on the individual characteristics, chemistries, or where's the...
Well, we probably do need to double check the dictionary match and make sure that, yeah, if we forcefully match somebody with just Microsoft Azure and Azure, will it change if we change those terms?
Right.
Yeah.
Because otherwise we're going to have to define that entire set of potential values.
Of course, we pick one with no discussion on it.
I guess when you build the system, you would actually have sort of a either a pull down where people would have to select.
Yeah, it'd be terms, we can have, or just ultimately type in tags.
Autocomplete. Yeah. The system will complete the term the way we want it to show up.
Yeah, to try and if somebody else has said it enough times, then hopefully that'll lean them towards that particular usage of it. So, well, the interesting thing is, it's like when you actually look at the code for these things, it's actually not terrible. Because a lot of this stuff's kind of like baked in. I mean, and ultimately, this is particularly what my goal is with this stuff. Is like when we're hitting we're really trying to narrow down a very specific set of use cases here. But in the course of a very short time, we've gone from just coming up with an idea. We found a working free algorithmic tool that we can manipulate based on technology criteria. We've come pretty far in the first sprint here, so I think we're in good shape.
Well, but to your point, this got us to what we needed to validate that we could make the tech work for us. Now I think we need a little bit more definition around what it is we're trying to accomplish with the matching and what we want those criteria to be, because that's going to affect the data set and the weighting.
Right.
Yeah, I guess we need to figure out the interests. If we're going to leave interest as the particular technology that somebody's interested in uh, learning or getting assistance with, for the mentees that's going to be their desire, for the mentors that's going to be their current skills. So we just need to figure out what we want the secondary category to be that
Right.
we're actually trying to do a match on, which. Yeah, I don't know if we leave that as
Or do we actually treat these,
personality.
or maybe? Sorry, I don't mean to like.
No, go ahead.
Maybe we aren't going to solve it in one. Maybe this is just this is only the first part. First, I actually have to match the person. I was overthinking what I'm trying to do in one single pass. The first one is just purely matching the person. And we'll want to make use of interests and values like that. Will matter if you're a vegan. Maybe you want to learn from another vegan, right? And that would count as a value versus an interest, because you that's a value. Not like I would question whether it definitely is not an interest. But hey, vegan trigger warning. That's my. I'm all about inclusive societies, except for vegans, and those people kind of bug me. But just kidding. No, I actually think let's just match people. The more criteria, the better. We do use values and truly treat them as like life values. The interests would be both hobbies and technology interests.
Okay.
And then we would probably literally use a second algorithm. Like it would be now that you've found a good personality match, run a second algorithm with a second data set, which would purely be, this is what I need, and this is who's got it.
Okay.
And
so do the personality match first to get the smaller data set to work with of, for this mentee, who are the compatible mentors, or for this mentor, like who falls into their value set.
Yeah.
And match the technology. Okay. Yeah.
Now, like if I think of, obviously this is a problem that with a bunch of programmers and people that actually like really dig in on this stuff, we could probably get further with it. This is the longer term. This is day 2 stuff for me. I want to keep building on it, but like we're matching 1-to-1 here. But to do what I just talked about, I really need to be matching 1 to a variety of people. And then in that variety of people, which one of them now has the skill set that I can narrow it to 1-to-1.
Which is funny because we now totally are building the technology version of a dating app. It's the here are the available mentors for you. Which one do you like best?
Yeah, it's bizarre that this is actually how it works out.
Well, it's kind of like those real estate apps where it gives you a list of real estate agents in your area and who sold the most homes, and based on a number of criteria, who might be a good fit for you teaming up with. I get it.
Well, yeah, there are actually some companies that do this even for their internal call routing. They're basically kind of making fingerprints for users that are known users calling in, and then the available agents that they have. And if they have a personality match, or if they know that this user typically calls for this type of technology, they match them with somebody that's got that skill set to hopefully resolve their issue in like their first call, rather than not necessarily matching and somebody needing assistance again.
Yeah, that's this is cool. It's good because this is also the huge value of when we work as a collaborative team who really had we had no plan coming into it other than what we came up with in the first hour. Now what I'm able to do is we've done a ton of validation on what we're trying to accomplish. We actually had the start of a platform, and so here's the funny thing. This is literally the start of a platform. This is me. I'd done some really very, very basic matching stuff to see, and this will become a real thing down the road, or I'll make sure everybody's duly compensated. Yeah. I like the. Yeah, there's definitely gonna be some ways to skin the proverbial algorithmic cat on it, but this is pretty cool.
Yep.
Alrighty. Well, how about let's do a quick break. We'll jump back on in like say 15 minutes, and I think then let's just quickly figure out where we're at, see what we've got in the kind of the next tranche of work, and then I think we'll start to split out a bit now, and then we can figure out building the data gathering, and then keeping hacking on the algorithmic side, and then we'll actually start building the kind of the presentation as well at the same time. And I think I just to start to build some of the ideas, and I know that Al is going to jump on in a little while, in a couple hours. He had to work; he couldn't make it to the start. Then what we can do is we can say, all right, here's where we're at. Al, can you help out with this piece and kind of get him up to speed on some stuff?
Or here's where we're at. Here's where we're at, Al. There you go. See you later.
That's right. You get second shift.
Yeah. See you later, Al. Here you go.
Yeah, because
he'll like that. He'll like that.
In the evening, I've got like a hunk of time where I'm not going to be like super available, but then I can kind of pick it up again later on. So this is why hackathons are cool when they're in long form. We're testing the waters and a lot of crazy stuff here. I know for sure. Oh, Joe, are you coming to VMworld?
I am.
Okay, perfect. So,
yep.
I think we may have ourselves the beginning of a hackathon idea. When we can probably bust out some pretty neat stuff, because we know we'll learn the stuff here, and then we know we can kind of get right to it as we get to the short form version.
Oh yeah.
So okay, cool. Well, let's drop. Everybody grab some food, some drink, whatever. I know. Sorry, we're asynchronous to your lunch cycle, Joe. But yeah, just gonna take a quick little breather break, and then we'll jump back on in about 15 minutes or so.
Sounds good.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
See you soon.